What's going on, guys? Zuko back with another Dragonfly video. My guy just turned around. Dude, get back here. What is going on? I hope you're all doing very well. We're going to keep rolling with the Enhancement Shaman builds. I've been loving making these, and you guys have been watching them, and I really enjoy that. I'm going to make probably another video on the deeply rooted elements type stuff, the pure physical build, because obviously the one I made about the live servers isn't totally correct. But yesterday we talked about a pure fire build. Today we're going to talk about a FLAMESTRIKE build, which is essentially physical and fire put together. Can we kind of modify the talent tree to try and maximize the tier set bonus? That's what I'm trying to do here. Can we make it so that the tier set bonus is truly maximized on our character? What do I mean by that? Well, let's look at the tier set bonus. You'll see what I'm saying. Sundering increases your mastery, right? That's Fire, Frost, Nature damage. So in this particular build, that's buffing kind of all of our damage, to be honest. If you look at my breakdown here, I did about 210,000 sustained damage in AoE, by the way, which is quite good on only 5 targets. But you can see we're doing a swath of damage here. Chain Lightning, that's nature damage. We got fire damage, nature damage, physical damage, fire damage, physical, fire and physical. You kind of get a bit of both, a bit of everything, right? So the mastery bonus is just great across the board. It's just good, okay? Sundering increases your physical and fire damage. This is the part that we're trying to maximize in this build for 15 seconds. And then your next 2 Chain Lightnings do double damage and refund half the Maelstrom. Very cool. But really, it's that middle part, the first part of the 4-piece. We're trying to maximize the increase in physical and fire damage dealt by 20%. How do we do that? Well, let's look at our talents here. In the last build, we went fully down the fire tree, and we avoided all the physical stuff. And then we took a hard left and went down Primordial Wave. We're still getting Primordial Wave in this build because we want the Giga Chad haste buff. And it's just going to give us more fire damage. Sorry. Cools down our dogs. Very, very good. It's mostly about that haste window. It's very, very good to have that haste window. This time, though, we are going and getting Doom Winds. This is the big one that we need to get for this build. We need to have Doom Winds to proc our Wind Fury weapon, which ends up representing around 6% of our damage, or 6.2%. It's a lot of damage that comes out of that Wind Fury weapon, okay? And it also generates a ridiculous amount of Maelstrom weapon stacks, which is good. This build generates so many stacks of Maelstrom weapon because you have Fire Nova giving it to you, your Storm Strike's triggering on itself, and it's giving it to you. When your Doom Winds goes off, it's giving you a whole bunch. Sundering gives you a whole bunch. Primordial Wave gives you 10 guaranteed when you cast it. Your dogs are up all the time, so they're giving you Maelstrom weapon stacks. And then Crash Lightning generates a ton of Maelstrom weapon stacks over the course of a fight. So really, really good there for that. But you go over here, you might notice that I'm not going all the way down the fire side, and I'm only taking 1 point into Hot Hand. And you might think, oh my god, this is such a troll. It's not really a troll. Only taking 1 point into Hot Hand, all it does is it reduces the damage that your Lava Lash will do, and it reduces the chance that it will proc by only 15%. You're going from a 60% proc chance to 75%. So we only have that 60% proc chance to activate our Hot Hand buff, sorry. And that's okay. I don't actually want Hot Hand being activated all the time because when it is active, the cooldown on it is so low, especially if I took Ashen Catalyst, the cooldown would be literally 0. That would be the only button that we would be able to press. All of our GCDs would be just Lava Lash, and that's what the fire build does. But we want to make a pit stop to be pressing Storm Strike in this build. So we don't actually want to have Hot Hand procced all the time and have to just be pressing Lava Lash all the time in order to maximize that buff that we're getting. So instead, we're going to only put 1 point into Hot Hand to make sure we can fit in a bunch of Storm Strikes along with our Doom Winds to trigger a bunch of Wind Fury. So you'll see that when we get to the dummies, but that's a really big deviation. I'm going to show you that in detail when we get to the dummies. And then again, of course, we have Prime Wave. We have Alpha Wolf once again. This is not... I know Alpha Wolf doesn't make the dogs do physical damage. Somebody was telling me that in the comments my last video. When you don't take Elemental Spirits, your dogs just naturally are physical dogs. So they're going to buff our physical damage by 15% each. That's 30% more phys damage. But the Alpha Wolf damage is no joke. That's why I take it. It's very good. These guys did 6.5% of my damage. Just the Alpha Wolf proc. So it's no joke. That's why I take that talent there. So that's there still. And then we do have Deeply Rooted Elements. This is the new Deeply Rooted Elements, the 10.1 Deeply Rooted Elements with all the different stuff that Word Up was talking about. So let me look at this On the dummies, I'll show you the AoE damage again. This is the highest sustained damage that I've done of any build so far. I'm not kidding. The other builds were like 140k, 160k, 93, that's the wrong one. 168k, I think. That was actually the wrong one as well. Is it this one? This one here. So, oh no, this is the one with the Ascendants. Yeah, this is the one I was just trying. I think it's further down. Here we go. This one here. So we did like 140k sustained with just the fire build. That was just the fire build. And it did great damage, but again, it's still not as good as my current one, which ended up being, I was trying single target out. 210k sustained with this build. Now, we'll see if we can get back to those numbers. We'll see on this fight here. So once again, I want to talk about the rotation really quickly. You're always going to start with your wolves. We go wolves into Primordial Wave. I only have 5 targets. I know you can get 6 targets, and ideally, you're going to want 6 targets for your Flame Shocks to get maximum Fire Nova value. Just know that the damage that I'm showing you here is going to scale up with the more enemies that you have, okay? So just don't look at the damage right now and just think, oh, that's the highest it can possibly do. No. We can go higher. We just need more targets. So wolves into Primordial Wave, into Sundering. Get the Sundering buff going. Get the tier set bonus going right away. Then you go Lava Lash, then Lightning Bolt to give you the haste buff, and then you go Fire Nova, and then we go into the rest of our build. I'll get Doom Winds going there as well. Okay, here we go. Wolves, Prime Wave, Sundering, spread it around, Lightning Bolts. Here we go. We'll get Doom Winds online, and then we're blasting. Okay, big damage. Now, we do want to press Storm Strike as much as we can as well, because it might trigger Deeply Rooted. And we do want to trigger Deeply Rooted. That's a big part of this. Okay? But Crash Lightning ends up being a ridiculous amount of damage. It's such a great button, honestly. Our Fire Nova's back. Again, we're just generating Maelstrom weapon stacks all the time, because Fire Nova does it, Crash Lightning does it. Everything's doing it, basically. Which is awesome. We haven't got a hot... I think we got one hot hand proc. Still winning. Okay, Sundering's back. Here we go. Boom. Press it. Crash Lightning. Do our Primordial Wave window again. Big haste window right now. You can almost always line those suckers up. Oh, I'm getting trolled by my Chain Lightning here. Fire Nova. Lava Lash. One thing about this build is you don't need to tab target with your Lava Lash anymore, which is really nice. I know a lot of you guys, some of you guys in the comments were talking about not enjoying the tab targeting part of Lava Lash. I totally get that with the fire build. We don't have to worry about that in this build because we don't have the talent that makes us do that. So you can just tunnel on one target and get a lot of value out of that. Maybe there's a target in the dungeon that you really need to kick. Like it's your priority to kick this target. Sundering again. You can do that with this build, and that's really, really cool. Fire Nova. Another Chain Lightning. Okay, Primordial Wave is going. Here we go. Lightning Bolt. And go, go, go. We got Doom Winds up again. Go, go, go. Big damage. Lots of Wind Fury procs. We got a proc. There we go. Deeply Rooted. Let's go, baby. Fire Nova. We'll go Wind Strike. Wind Strike. There we go. Okay. There, that's the build. You can see we're above 200k sustained. It's going to fall off a little bit here, but it's kind of laggy on this stupid server. But you can see that's where we're kind of landing. Above 200k sustained. And it's really solid. It feels really good. You're basically just you're kind of just pressing whichever button is glowing. That is how it works. But the only wrinkle in this is kind of the Chain Lightning part of this. For whatever reason, they made the Chain Lightnings glow with the tier set bonus. So when you press Sundering, your Chain Lightnings automatically glow, whether you have Maelstrom weapon stacks available or not, which is really frustrating because it feels like you can press that button. Because whenever you have Maelstrom weapon stacks, it means that it'll be instant. It's good to go. And it's like, sometimes I press it and my guy starts like casting Chain Lightning. And I'm like, no, I thought I had Maelstrom weapon stacks, but I didn't. It was just the tier set bonus. Like, I'll show you right now. I'll press Sundering and my Chain Lightning's lit up. I don't have any Maelstrom weapon stacks, so it's not going to be instant. So it's like really annoying. But anyway, I hope they fix that later. Anyway, that is the build in a nutshell. You can see Chain Lightning, big damage, Fire Nova, Crash Lightning, Lightning Bolt, Wind Fury. Again, 8% of our damage. The dogs, almost 6% of our damage once again. Ascendants only went off, I think, twice. Actually, only once. We only got one proc, so we got kind of unlucky. But this is why I wanted to prioritize being able to press Storm Strike. Now, you could try this build without Deeply Rooted and maybe take Legacy or something, but I think you really do want the Deeply Rooted just for that fun proc. In AoE situations, getting multiple procs on Ascendants is insane. It's actually so good. It does uncapped AoE damage, when it goes off. And if you get this within your Sundering window, it does nature damage. So you're going to get 24% more damage just on the proc of Ascendance itself. Not to mention the extra physical damage afterwards, which also Ascendance, all the wind strikes from Ascendance are physical damage as well. So there's our Spirit Wolves. Once again, there's the breakdown right there. It's actually really consistent damage. I know it fell off pretty hard at the end, but you could see when we were in the middle of it, it's about 200k sustained on 5 targets. The best part about this build, honestly, your Crash Lightnings with Doom Winds up will proc crazy amounts of Wind Fury. Crash Lightning is uncapped. It's the damage is reduced beyond 6 targets, but in terms of its ability to proc Wind Fury, the more targets you have in front of you, the more Wind Fury procs you're going to get. So it's really, really good for that. Sundering is uncapped. It hits everybody. Fire Nova has a 6 target limit in terms of the Flame Shocks, but your Flame Shocks will detonate a Fire Nova from each one of your Flame Shocks. So let's say you have 6 targets and you detonate your Fire Nova. Each one of those Fire Novas will hit all 6 targets. So that's 36 hits of Fire Nova, right? You see what I'm going with there? Like, it's basically uncapped AoE as well. So you have a ton of crazy big AoE damage in this build. Sustained damage, tons of Maelstrom weapon stack generation, and about the best possible build that I think you could try and run for maximizing the damage of the tier set bonus that you're getting here. So you're trying to get as much physical damage as possible. You're trying to get as much fire damage as possible within that Sundering window. And of course, you know, your Wind Fury and your Fire Nova are really good at doing that. So I like this build. It's actually pretty fun. You also don't have to tab target because you don't have Lashing Flames. So it's really good. I'd love to hear what you guys think about this in the comments down below. This is just kind of a fun build that I threw together. But I do think it actually kind of has some legs. And I was very shocked by the sustained AoE damage that it was able to pull out. It was higher than any of the other builds that I've done so far, including the pure fire one and the physical one. Now, I'm going to be trying the Hailstorm build soon in the next video, and we'll see how that one kind of shapes up with the new tier set bonus as well. But this build's looking good as well. So let me know what you guys think in those comments down below. I would love to hear from you. Let's continue the conversation about Enhance. I always love talking to you guys down there, so please leave me some comments down below. Thank you so much again for watching. Love you guys. I will see you in the next one.